Hello and welcome back to Mars Horizon, where we are leading Japan in the space race. In the last episode we completed the milestone multi-crew orbit. If you haven't seen that episode or previous episodes, please find a link to the playlist in the description below. In this episode we'll be focusing on the first milestone for Mars, which is Mars Flyby. Let's begin. As I say, we're going to be focusing on planning and completing the Mars Flyby. So, a compelling fixture of the Earth's night skies, Mars has inspired myth, speculation in equal measure. Sending a probe would yield unprecedented observational data, bringing humanity closer to the red planet than ever before. Okay, so we can start looking at planning this mission. Okay, as always we have 4 different variations of payload, which is the standard, the observation, comms, and we have a prototype. As per usual, I think I'm going to stick again with the standard purely because money's okay at the minute, and I'd rather keep the payload reliability as high as we can do. So if we go to more information, so to enter Mars transfer orbit we need to do a 5 navigation, and I believe this may be a different resource, so we'll have to see what happens when we get into that mission later on. And then we have obtain scientific data, so that one seems pretty standard as normal. So let's select the payload and get built. So we've got 3 months to wait for that to be ready, and at the minute we have 2 request missions, one for Solar Observatory and one for the Moon micrometeorites. So let's start planning the training. Okay, this one's got pretty good launch reliability, so let's focus on getting the payload reliability up, and then we'll select a launch date. Okay, so we can get an extra 6% on the training, and I think we're just going to take it because this is just a request mission. We just want to get them done, dusted, and then we can move on to other more important missions. Okay, again, let's start selecting this mission. Okay, both are pretty good launch and payload reliability. So 8% is still pretty good, so let's focus on the payload reliability. And select a launch date. So nothing's pretty good until January, so whereas we'll go with January, there's no point taking a hit when we don't need to. So let's just take January and confirm mission. It's not the best 5 months, but we can accept that. So research wise, we are currently just over halfway with the Mars orbit, which is the second milestone in the Mars milestone list. So I think what I'm planning to do is complete this research, skip the Nozomi payload and move back onto the orbital EVA, only because we'll go back to the Earth milestone page. The Chinese have already researched that and they have already attempted it once and they failed. So it'd be quite good if we can quickly get the research done and get that mission underway, so at least we can, if not, gain second position if they do attempt to go again. If not, we might be able to sneak in there and get first again. And then once that's done, we can then go back and get the Nozomi payload to be able to then focus on doing the Mars orbit. And then we'll have to decide if we want to go back at the Venus impactor and the Mercury orbit and the Venus orbit, but we can decide that at a later date. So for the minute there's nothing else to do, so we will go to the next month, and again we'll go to next month. There's nothing else to do. Okay, so the Mars orbit research has been complete, and we're now ready to do the Solar Observatory. Okay, let's launch the mission. Okay, let's just skip that bit. And so we've got good conditions and 96% launch reliability, so let's just go with it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, skip that, and we got 53%. It's a shame because at that high percentage would have thought you'd get a positive effect, but it's not no problem. Okay, so both the Atlas and the Delta are max levels now, and I believe that should be max reliability as well, so that's good news. Okay, let's just get through this. Okay, so to achieve this mission we need 2 comms, 4 data and 3 navigation. The bonus is 4 comms, 8 data and 6 navigation. So let me see what I can do with this and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so that's gone pretty well. So we've just got last turn now. All we need to do is get one more data. So we'll use some power and then recharge to ensure we can complete the mission. And it's successful. So another mission completed successfully. Okay, so again, additional support and additional research. Let's continue. Okay, Soviet Union is launching their flyby in 11 months, so we do need to start pushing on with that. But like I say, we've got one more month to go and our payload's complete. Yep, so they've got 10 months and they'll be launching, so hopefully we can sneak in there at the end. And the Soviets are also launching a Venus Impact mission across here. And I think that's it for the minute. Okay, so who's doing what next? Yep, so the Chinese are going again for the orbital EVA, so they've got 12 months to go for that. And over on the moon, no one's doing that just yet. Okay, so research wise, I'm going to push ahead and get to the orbital EVA, which should take us a couple of turns to go, but we have got a lot of good research coming in, so we'll see how that goes. And we have a spare mission slot now, so let's have a look and see what we can do. Okay, so we're doing everything we can on Mars. On the moon, can't do anything on the milestones. Start looking at maybe doing the far side of the moon to get some nice research and some additional support. On here, we have a joint mission with I think that's China, yeah. So we get a little bit more science and additional support. And then if we do the heat shield one, that looks pretty good as well. Okay, so can't do no more milestones over there. And there's nothing to do with Venus or Mercury because we've not done the research. So it's tempting to do the joint mission with China because we are not doing that well, shall we say, but even so, if we do it, we're going to lose 5% anyway for contribution because of what we're doing, how badly our relationship is with them. So I think for the minute I'm not very fussed with doing anything with them. So the heat shield analysis looks pretty good for the research. And so we've got 1,233 on the moon. Yep, okay, so for support and science, let's do the heat shield analysis. Let's get that planned. Okay, so nothing bad on the... Yep, so we'll just stick with the standard because we can't afford... It's tempted to go for the power one, but I don't want to spend that much money for that additional cost, so let's get this one built and ready to go. Okay, move on. Okay, so the Mars Flyby payload is complete, and we have supplementary boost to reliability bonus increased by 100%. That's good to know, but I don't think we've even got the research for that just yet, so shouldn't be an issue. So let's go back to the new designs. Yep, so we have the Delta K, so I think we're just going to be using the Kashara, which is 84% reliability, and it's accepted for this mission, so I'm going to confirm because we haven't really got the time to mess around with the contractors, so let's just get it built in-house because it's cost effective and it doesn't waste any time. Okay, so for me, let's move on. So orbital EVA, well that was quick. So orbital EVA research is complete. An astronaut's skill in performing an extra vehicle activity, EVA, can be vital when it comes to the unpredictable nature of space missions. The first images of a successful spacewalk are sure to capture the imagination of the planet at large. Okay, so that's now complete, which is a shame. I didn't think it would get completed that quickly. But that means now we can actually do that mission. So, when's our next free slot? Well, that one's just built. That's got 6 months to go. Got 1 month to launch. So what I'm going to have to do is get that launch done, and then move straight on to the planning for the orbital EVA. Okay, so research-wise, we can let's go straight for the Nozomi payload, a robotic probe designed to orbit another planet, studying its atmosphere and magnetic field and imaging the surface. We'll get that researched again, and then I think I will come back up here, but we could push on through to the commercial satellite, or even doing the crewed mission, crewed moon landing, which is the Apollo mission, which is what the payload is. Or we can go for the commercial satellite and do the ComSat, but we'll decide that once we get the payload complete. So let's move on. Okay, so we have a budget review, and we didn't quite meet it, but we're still getting 255k per month, which is good. And the heat shield analysis payload is complete. So we've got minus 50% boost build, but 50% boost build cost. Okay, so we can build quicker, but we'll increase the cost. Not a major issue. And the moon micrometers is ready to go. Okay, so 95% payload reliability, and the launch is 80%. So as long as we get the rocket into space, we should be doing pretty good with the mission. So adequate conditions and critical. So let's continue. So critical is only 3%, so fingers crossed it should go okay. Nice little fireworks at the bottom there. I do like the launches in this game, they are pretty good. Okay, and yep, nice 51 secure launch. So let's continue. Okay, so both the Jupiters now are both level 5, so they're maxed out. Okay, which is good news. Skip through this bit. Okay, so first part of the mission, we need 2 data, 3 navigation, and the bonus is 4 data and 5 navigation. So I'll see what I can do and I'll get back to you. So this one hasn't gone too bad. We had 95% reliability on the payload, so it's been pretty good. So we're going to recharge and go twice. We'll have no power left, but we will complete the mission. And hopefully, if we don't have any fails, we should be able to complete the first part of the mission straight away. Okay, well that was 98%, so that was very successful. And another success, so that's brilliant. So that's task 1. Task is complete, so we've achieved lunar orbit. So let's continue. Looks like it fly straight past it, but it's here. Okay, so in this next task, we're going to need to achieve 3 comms and 4 data to complete the mission, but to get the bonus we need 6 comms and 7 data, so I'll see what I can do and I'll get back to you. Okay, and we're back again, so just got to do hopefully one more data, so get 2 comms and navigation, and we should complete the bonus mission. And then we'll just do 2 recharges to ensure we have it. And I say, as this payload has been very, very good, it's at 95% reliability, it's just flying straight through the commands. And again, that should be mission completed. Another successful mission by the Japanese Space Agency. Okay, so this was just purely a cash mission, so we just got about 1.6k there. That's pretty good. Okay, so now we have a free mission slot. So let's start planning for the orbital EVA. Just confirm. Yep, we have the correct booster and upper stages. So let's start planning. Select the payload. So for this mission here, there's 3 stages. Not sure what that modifier is there, but I'm sure we'll find out when we complete the mission. Okay, so we need to achieve Earth orbit, conduct mission EVAs, and then perform controlled re-entry. Okay, so it seems we've got a lot of comms and quite a bit of data navigation as well. So in the Gemini payload we have a standard, crew, a navigation and a comms. Okay, so crew 1 looks an extra quite interesting, but we'd have to then hire an additional crew member, which will also eat into our funds, because as you see there we have 23,000 upkeep for the astronauts. So it is tempting to go for a comms relay, but we will reduce the payload. But we could get that back with training, so I'm tempted to go with that just to gain additional improved communication. Yeah, so I'm tempted to get the comms, but I don't know how much comms we get extra per mission. So let's find out. So we'll select this payload and begin, and go from there. So active missions, we need to build a rocket for our heat shield analysis. So we should be able to reuse the design. So we'll reuse the Otter car because it's 89% launch reliability and it's half the cost. So we'll load that design and confirm and get it built. Okay, so anything happen here? So China's completed the multi-crew orbit, so well done. And Soviet Union's doing their flyby. Yeah, so okay, so we're catching up to the Chinese. So it'd be nice if we can beat them, but I don't see it being possible again unless they fail again, which can happen, but may not be likely. And again, we're 7 months behind the Soviets on the Mars flyby, so it'd be a shame to miss out on that, but we can only do what we can do. So we've got 5 more months to go for the rockets race, so that's not going to leave much time for any training or planning. Any training missions for either launch reliability or payload reliability. So I have to see what happens when we get there. Okay, Soviet Union's launching a flyby in 6 months. Yep, we knew that. I don't think there's any reason nothing for us to do anything. So let's just skip to the next month. Okay, so yep, so the Nose Army research is complete. So yeah, ESA complete their multi-crew and so forth. So looking at the research, we can now, once we do the Mars flyby, go straight onto the Mars orbit, and like I say, we're already planning the orbital EVA. Okay, so we can start pushing down here and getting the crewed moon landing or the commercial satellite, or come back up here and get the Mars impact to Mercury orbit or the Venus orbit. Building wise, at the same point I would like to get a few more buildings, but I am very concerned obviously with funding, that obviously because these buildings do cost a bit to build and to maintain. Again, it'd be nice to start getting some additional rockets, but they're only 300, 750, 750, so we could research something pretty quickly. Okay, yes, a commercial satellite would then complete Era 2 of the human space exploration, so it's tempted to go down there. And what was the other one I was looking at? Oh yeah, the crewed moon landing. Again, as we missed out on the milestone for the lunar orbit because we're focusing on completing the milestones on Earth, we could then try to skip ahead and get the crewed moon landing. Because I don't see how it's possible for us to get everything. Because like I say, even here now, the Venus impactor, you got the Russians launching next month. Sorry, the Soviet Union's launching next month, and the Chinese are right behind them at 10 months. So we could achieve 3rd place, or we could start looking at maybe doing the Mercury orbit and achieving that milestone first. Yeah, because there's nothing we can really do on. We already planned, ready to go for the Mars approach. So it's tempting to leave. Again, if we get the Venus impact, we do get some support reward. I believe that's for if we just doing the research. So it's 1,000 for that one, 2.5 for that one, and 2,000 for this one, for the Mercury and the Venus. And then commercial satellite would take 3,500 and 4,000 for the crewed moon landing. And I think looking, sorry about all the jumping around, just trying to see what's the best course of action. So commercial satellite, no one's researched it yet, and I'd take it to the crewed moon landing. Not. I believe I think we should jump ahead. These ones here, it's not the end of the world. If we're focusing on the Mars, we've done that. The others are purely just the impact and then doing some orbits around them. So let the other agencies take that as much as they want. We can always go back and do that at a later date. So I think I would preferably like to go for the crewed moon landing. Yep, it'd be nice to get the commercial satellites to try and get the first position on all on Earth, but I don't see how we're going to do that with EVA, so I think we should do the crewed moon landing. So one giant leap for mankind. The first astronaut to set foot upon another planet represents a monumental triumph of human ingenuity and daring. Those who achieve it will be immaterialized by Earth's astounding populace. Yep, so let's get that done and then move on to the Apollo payload. So we're planning ourselves up for quite a few milestones, so we'll see how it all goes. And let's complete the Gemini next month. Okay, so the orbital payload is now completed. Okay, so according to engineers, the required launch configuration will grant valuable data on the vehicle's second stage. So Upper vehicle stage gains 2 experience after launch. Okay, that's good to know. So let's select the vehicle, and I believe we'll just keep reusing the Karashar. So we'll load this design and we will get it built, which again we can't afford, so we're gonna have to wait an additional month until we can afford that. Which is why we need to get some. This is why we need to complete. This is the problem with trying to just do milestone missions. You do get some funding, but not much. So we need to start looking at completing a few of the request missions to gain additional funding again. But it looks like we've got one more month to go for both of these, Mars Flyby and the orbital shield analysis. So we should be okay. So let's move on to the next month. Okay, so the Mars Flyby vehicle is complete. So we've got 10% payload reliability. Okay, it's good, but we lost 10% launch reliability, which isn't as good. Okay, so the heat shield analysis rocket is complete, and it's got plus 5% launch reliability. Oh, that's good to know. So it's 94% for launch reliability, but only 45% for the payload. Right, let's plan the Mars Flyby. So looking at it, we've got 74 for launch and 80 for payload. So I think we need to get the launch reliability up just to ensure we can complete it. And as they're launching next month, we've got no choice but to try and push on to next month. It's still meant to be an optimal day, so we will select that and try and beat the Soviets to the mark. So confirm that setup for 1 month, and we can start planning. Yeah, so we can start building the orbital EVA one now, but we can assign a. Go back. Does it tell us? Yeah, so we've got 95% launch reliability. So let's use the electrician. Fukuda Suzuka. So bad at names. But this female astronaut, Shell, who's an electrician, will give us an extra power for each start of the task. So I think we'll assign her to the mission. Confirm. I didn't realise this one was an actual crewed mission, but anyway, it's not a problem. Again, there's no reason to do a launch reliability when it's 94%, so let's try and get that payload up as high as we can take it. So let's launch in 9 months to gain at least 9% payload reliability. So let's select that and confirm the mission. Continue. And it looks like with our passive income, we now have enough to build the orbital EVA rocket. So that'll be ready in 7 months' time. So let's continue with that. And let's have another glance around the solar system. Yep, so we've now researched that as the Soviet Union. So they've pushed ahead with their research as well. And the Soviets are 1 month behind us. So again, we're neck and neck now with the Mars Flyby. Over here with orbital EVA, yep, we're a bit behind there, but we'll have to see what happens with the Chinese in 4 months' time. Again, the moon, no one should be there because he needs to get to the crewed landing, which should be a while away for them. The Soviets are 2 months from launch, and the Chinese 8 months. So fingers crossed that they are good for them so they can get that. And again, the Soviets have already researched the Mercury orbit. Yes, the Soviets are doing quite a lot of research quickly. But anyway, let's move on to the Mars Flyby. Okay, so it's neck and neck between us and the Soviet Union. Okay, so we've got 8% for the payload reliability and 77% for the launch reliability. So let's see what happens. Looks like a very nice day for launch. So the Karashar, July 1965. Okay, so got added conditions, but we don't get any percentage for that. But we've got a 77% chance of launch reliability, but 6% critical. I have no reason not to go for this, so let's continue and see what happens. Fingers crossed. Well, that looks like a good launch. That's the positive step done. How good was it though? 64%, very good. So it's a nice secure launch. Continue, and we gained additional level up for the Delta K. So we've got additional 1% launch reliability. Let's continue. Okay, nice looking payload there. So we've got thrust now. Okay, so we've got some training to do. So thrust. This task involves thrust, a special resource often required when the payload is undertaking a change of orbit or course correction. Managing thrust. Thrust can be generated via commands like other resources, but will often decrease at the start of every turn. Make sure to plan ahead so you can generate enough thrust to finish the task. Okay then, so that's interesting. So to complete this part of the mission, we need to have 5 navigation and 5 thrust. And then the bonus is 10 navigation and 10 thrust. We've got comms and data and power as secondary resources. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so we're going to lose a decaying thrust every turn, which is not good, but it looks like we can get 4 thrust here, so we need to get plenty of comms being built up. So we'll get some power into comms, turn that straight into a navigation and a boost and a thrust. And then let's get some more navigation, and we will. Is that going to be the best option? Yeah, because we're going to have to get some. Yep, I think that's the best option, so let's confirm that and go. Okay, so that's nice, successful. Okay, that was close, but that was good. And a positive effect at 94%, so fuel efficiency, so we gain an additional data. Okay then, and we lost a thrust, so it's going to be quite hard to achieve that bonus, I think, but we'll see what happens. Well, I think it's going to be hard to achieve the bonus. The thrust might be okay, but the navigation might be tricky. We've only got 3 turns to complete it in. But again, it's not always essential to gain the bonus. Okay, so we've got additional data, so we could turn the data and the navigation into comms and get some more thrust. We do need to start looking at getting a lot more thrust going ahead. Not more thrust, we need to get the navigation up as well. But to gain navigation, we need to either use data or power or comms. Or, yeah, data again, so. Good. Like I say, there's not very much we could do, I don't think. So we could either just use 2 power and gain 2 navigation. I think that may be the best option, or just use the comms again. Can't use the thrust though, but then we can at least have a bit of spare thrust going forward in the mission. Okay, very close to getting another positive. And another success. Okay, so far so good. We've lost additional thrust, but we've gained the thrust a bonus objective. We're trying to get 6 more navigation. We only have 2 power. Okay, so we've got 2 turns left to go. Obviously we can complete this turn by just using some power. Okay, so if we did this one, we could turn 2 power into 2 comms, 2 comms into comms and navigation, and then thrust. That would work, but then we'll have 2 turns left to go to gain 3. Might be doable. Or sorry, 1 turn left to go to get 3 navigation. Don't see it being possible, but yeah, I can't see how. How can we do this then? Okay, so I think if I use one of my navigation to get 2 comms and a data, two data and comms, and to turn that into 2 comms into navigation comms, and then recharge. Use the power to get 2 more data, and then next turn I need to use the 2 comms to gain additional navigation and thrust, because I'm going to lose 1 thrust this turn. and then turn the spare data into 3 navigation and 1 comms, and then see what happens. Even so, hopefully we should be able to, as long as we complete the mission by the end of the next 2 turns, we should be okay. So let's continue. Okay, so we have a failure, which isn't good. Okay, so we can resist, but if we do that, we can't do what we wanted to do. But we do need this one, so I might have to resist because we're going to lose a comm. So if we do that, we won't gain. Yeah, so if we resist, we can't do the next one anyway, so yep, resist it. Accept. Okay, yep, so we failed that one because we didn't have the power to complete it. It's a shame. Okay, but we have achieved the mission, so this last turn, so we need to decide how to do it. But either way, I'd have to do that if I wanted to achieve that. I would then need to I can't see this working very well. How we're going to get this to work? Because I need additional thrust, that has to happen. I then need to gain 3 additional navigation, and I can't see how we're going to get that. Because I'd have to recharge. That do it? No, because that would give us an additional. So I could recharge, get some more data. Data could go, which will achieve that, but I won't then get the thrust. So no, I don't think, because I had that fail, we're going to be able to achieve it. So with that in mind, there's something I think we can do that's going to be able to gain us enough navigation to achieve the mission with the 3 turns. So let's just complete the task. Complete. Yep. Still successful. We completed the first part of the mission. If we didn't have that fail, we would have been able to complete the bonus, but it's not a problem. Okay, so ESA is launching Mars Flyby in 20 months. Soviet Union launching next month. Okay then. So we've got 8 months to go for the next phase. Okay, so it's just got to keep waiting for that part to be done. Okay, so looking at the active missions. Okay, so it's a different approach. Didn't realise you had. I didn't see it was 2 phases. I thought the phase would be straight after each other, but we've got to wait 8 more turns or 8 more months to then do the atmospheric entry. Not a problem. Okay, so this one's 2 months until launch and complete all mission progress stages. Yep, so we've got to 6 months for the rocket. Research wise, we are about a third way through crewed moon landing. Okay, so move to the next month. ESA is launching Venus Impact in 11 months. So what's just going here? So it looks like the Soviets are actually on the way to Venus. So we'll see how that goes next month. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so doing the heat shield analysis. 54% launch payload reliability, 94% launch. So it's going to be 50-50 pretty much for how this goes when we're up in space. Let's just skip this entry. Okay, so we've got good conditions and 99% launch reliability. So let's continue. Night launches are really pretty. I do like them. Okay. I would have, again, 90% launch reliability. I would have thought you'd be getting up here, but not a problem. Okay, so we're not getting any additional bonuses now because of the launch in the Atlas and the Delta. So let's continue. Okay, so that's good news. So again, we need 6 comms, 5 navigation to complete the mission, and then we need 11 comms and 9 navigation to get the bonus. Okay, so if you We'll be back in a second and see how we get on. Right, as we are back now on the last turn. It's been quite difficult due to the reliability of the payload, but as you can see, we've got 10 comms and 10 navigation. So we've achieved the objective. To get the bonus, we need another. We've already got the navigation, we just need one more comms. So to gain that, I'm going to recharge twice and excuse me, get a signal return test, and that should confirm the commands, and we should hopefully okay get a very, very good ideal alignment. So we'll accept that and move on. And there we go, an astronaut safely back to Earth. Okay, so yep, human orbit phase 1. Okay. Right, so yep, so she's now got 6 months of recuperation, but another successful mission. Soviet Union completed the Venus impactor. Where's it gone? So ESA is launched in 21 months. Yep, so Soviet Union completed the Venus impactor. The Soviet Union completed the phase 1 of the Mars Flyby, and China is launching orbital EVA next month. Okay, so that's what they're doing next one. So that's I'm be happy if they achieve it, but I would be extremely happy if they didn't, because then we can come first, hopefully. So we'll go across to Venus, and you can see the Soviet Union is doing their Venus impactor. Yep, so China's 5 months behind them, and the ESA is 8 months. Is anyone onto Mercury? Okay, so the Soviets have researched it, but not done anything with it yet. And we're still ahead, but the Soviet Union is right behind us with only a month's difference. And ESA is launching in 18 months' time, and China has now researched the mission. Yep, and for the Mars Flyby, we're still the same with Soviet Union. Okay then, so we have some more request missions. So another solar observatory and life support test. Okay. Looking at the active missions, we have a free slot, but we are looking quite low on funding, so we do need to start looking at getting some. So we've got a joint mission with NASA, but it's not going to give us much, and a lunar radiation. We need funds really. So request mission, what's going to give us some good money? Nothing, everything's science based over there. I'll take it with nothing on the moon. I mean, yeah, we could start looking at planning the Mars orbit, but the problem is though, we won't have enough money for the rocket. And looking at our active missions, so the flyby again is a lot of science, and overview again for the orbital EVA, that's a lot more science as well. Quest missions out here? Nope. So only quest mission we've got is on the Earth, and all that's doing is offering us science, which again we do need science, but it's going to cost us to do the mission while we're building the payload and the rocket. So I might have to hold fire. Yeah, we'll hold fire for another month. What's the next turn? What's that there? What's that is? That's the that's our, I think it's a Gemini payload. What's the research say? Yep, the Gemini payload. Oh no, the Gemini payload is for the multi-crew. It'll be the Sakagate. That's our Mars Flyby payload here. So it's nice to see it on the map, or on the solar system map. Okay, so any more request missions? We haven't got anything. No. So as much as I don't want to waste an active slot, I just don't see we've got the funds to do anything with it. So rival agency offers help. Following their successful orbital EVA mission, okay, so China did successfully do them. Rival agency China has publicly offered to share their payload technology with your agency to give our friends the help they need in their space race. Your advisors believe your agency will gain science if you choose to accept the offer, yet also warn that you may lose face with the public in doing so. I'm okay with science limits, so we're going to reject the offer. So offer rejected. Your agency has publicly rejected the offer. We thank China for their graceful offer, yet feel the greater sophistication of our technology means we would learn very little from the exchange. The media has revealed in your agency's response. Yep, so we're getting some support, which is good because it helps us with our funding issue, but we lost some more reputation with China, which isn't good. But because yeah, they are not happy with us, so we will see what happens with that later. Okay, so funding wise, hoping next month we should, yeah, so next tier we should gain up to 306,000 a month. Have another request mission, Earth topology. Fantastic, that's a nice lucrative mission, so we'll get that planned. And payload reliability looks really good, but they're all the same price apart from the power one, so we'll just stick with the standard module, and I think it seems pretty straightforward there. So we'll select that payload and build it for 3 months. Like I said, it's a shame. I would like to start putting more missions for more milestone missions, or even doing the research ones, but I do need to start looking at getting the funding up. Okay, so being competing with the Chinese, we're getting additional 2% funding, which is, I suppose that's positive as well. Okay, so let's move on. So the crewed moon landing research is complete. That's good news. So again, is there any buildings? So PR office would gain as additional support. So it unlocks missions training for support. So we can reduce the build time, getting some more research. So Hall of Fame would give us astronaut pool by 4. The buoyancy lab, the neutral buoyancy lab will gain unlock tier 2 astronauts, and we have a launch pad for heavy rockets. So yeah, the PR one would be good, but it's going to cost us 500k to build, another 15k upkeep. So I don't see that being beneficial. Rocket wise, at the minute we're doing pretty good with getting the missions on the go, so I hope we get a whole fire with that for the minute. So we may as well keep going with the Apollo. I mean, we could do the one up here to get the support, but we're not going to achieve them anyway, so let's just stick with the Apollo. So a large spacecraft capable of carrying multiple crew and supporting various activities in cislunar space. Okay, so we would have to get additional crew member for that mission, so that's crew capacity of 3. But again, the cost of that is 1,200k, so it's quite a hefty cost there. Again, that's going to be 5,500 research to gain that. So got a lot of research coming in the minute, so we should hopefully get that pretty quickly. And you can see the Russian payload for the Mars Flyby right behind us. Okay, so we've got another 3 turns to go for the Mars Flyby. The observational satellite will complete in 2, and we have a funding review next month, and the Kashmir is complete next month. So we've got a couple of events next month. Okay, so we've got another budget review, and I say we've gone up to the next tier. So we're getting 306,000 per month now, 306k, which is going to help us get our money issue under control. So orbital EVA payload is complete, and suboptimal launch windows increased mission training bonus by 100%. Okay, 85% launch reliability, so that's pretty good. Okay, so orbital EVA is actually a crewed mission. Okay, so we haven't actually got we might need to hire a spare astronaut for this mission. Will it let us assign one of them? No, so we'll have to start getting this one planned. Okay, so we might actually look at doing 2 milestones in this episode. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, so problem solving, we get -1 random resource required per task. That's okay. Scientist gains more science reward. Another test pilot for launch reliability. Com specialist. I don't really care about the celebrity and the science. Com specialist is pretty good. And you're 24, you retire at 56, you're 9k, and you cost 90k. So let's hire you, and we will assign you. I say we still need to get 3 astronauts anyway if we plan to do the moon landing. So we're preparing ourselves for that as well. Okay, so launch reliability is 90%, which I'm happy with. So let's get the payload training done. And okay, let's just go back. So orbital crew, no one else is actually doing that. Actually, I probably could have done that in this window actually. Yeah. Okay, so no one actually has researched it, let alone ready to complete. So I'm tempted to move all the way up to April, because the payload isn't actually the best. We'll go to April, and we will select that mission and confirm. Okay, go back. Did it say there that auto leave? Yeah, so yeah, so we've got 69%. I think that would be including the bonuses. So it's not the best, but it's still pretty good. 9% launch reliability is good, but again, we are talking about free astronaut lives here, so we do need to ensure that is as good as possible. So the Mars Flyby's got 2 months, and the Earth topology has got another month to go for completion. So let's move on. Okay, so the payload is complete, so we gain minus 25% vehicle build cost, but the payload is now 10% less. Okay, next design. Okay, so we'll design the vehicle. Should be able to reuse the car. Again, good launch reliability and a reasonable cost. So we'll load that and confirm and build. Continue. Okay, so the Apollo is just under halfway, so that's getting pretty good work on that. And next month we can start looking at completing the Mars Flyby. So next mission phase, ready. Mars Flyby is ready for its next mission phase. Go to the active missions screen to continue this mission. Okay. So, active mission, Mars Flyby. Let's continue. So, Mars Flyby, phase 2. Obtain scientific data. Okay, so we need 3 comms, 4 data, 2 navigation to complete the objective, and to get the extra 50% bonus reward we need 5 comms, 8 data, 3 navigation. Okay, so where are we going to go with this one then? So the biggest one we need to start looking at is the comms. Navigation shouldn't be too bad because we can just do 1 power into 2 navigation to ping location. And the comms, so it might be good to turn navigation into comms and data. So let's look at using some power to gain some navigation and some comms. Like I said there, straight away we've already pretty much achieved the navigation, or already have achieved the objective for the navigation. Could use one of the comms to two comms navigation. I don't think that's going to help us, so let's turn the data into 2 comms and additional navigation. Okay, let's do that and see how we go. Okay, that's good. Very good. 3-3 it is, so it's the first 3 commands successfully done. Okay, so we've already achieved the navigation objective and the bonus. So we do need to start looking at getting the comms up a lot higher. So we could turn 2 navigation. I know we just wasted it now, but we can gain the navigation back pretty quickly. We'll turn that into free data, and we can turn a power to a navigation into free data, and turn a data into two navigations and a comm. Okay, then we'll have 2 turns left to get free comm, 2 data, and no navigation. So looking good. So let's confirm the commands there. Okay, so we've had a first failure, which is a camera stutter failure. So we can resist it. We'll resist it because we've got the power. So let's just keep going. Okay, that's fine. And another success. Okay. So we're looking good. So we need only 1 more comms to complete the mission, but let's aim for the bonus. We need another 2 comms, 2 data, and and 3 comms. So let's look at getting the comms. So the comms would actually either, so we could turn a navigation into 2 comms and a data, and then attempt to turn the comms back into that. Yeah. So I want to play it safe. We've got 2 turns, so let's play it safe. And what else could we do instead of that? So what have we just done there? We haven't used any power, but yeah, I think if we recharge, and if that is successful, we'll have the navigation and we'll have the comms. Just need to get 2, which we can just get from 1 power. So let's confirm. So we recharge to get our 2 power. That was successful. and another success. Okay, so we're looking good. So we've still got 2 power, so we may as well just turn that power into 2 data and recharge. And then we've got 5 comms, your 8 data, and your 4 navigation to achieve the bonus. Let's confirm. Okay, so we fail. Is it another camera? Is it camera stutter? No, sensor oversaturation, but we can resist because we recharged. And mission successful. First milestone on Mars has been achieved, and everyone's jumping for joy. Okay, so we now achieved the Mars Flyby, and we got it first, and we also got the extra reward bonus. So we've got 875 support and 822 science for 4 months. So let's continue. Well, on that note, we've now achieved the Mars Flyby, which is another astounding achievement for the Japanese Space Agency. The Soviet Union was very close behind us with 1 month to go, so I'm sure they'll complete that next month. And then the Chinese and ESA are very close behind us. Again, at the objectives, we are ready to start. Next month we can start launching the orbital EVA. But I think on that note, I don't want to make these videos and Let's Plays too long, so we will leave that for the next episode. So thank you very much for watching episode 7 of My Japan's Let's Play. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next episode of Mars Horizon.